Today we shall discuss about permanent magnet moving coil instrument. In short, it is called as PMMC instrument. Okay, so in short, it is called as PMMC instrument. This instrument works based on motoring principle. This instrument used for the measurement of DC voltage or DC current. This cannot be used for the measurement of AC quantities like voltage or current. Okay. This is only used for the measurement of DC voltage or DC current. Now let us go for constructional details of PMMC instrument. Now I am drawing permanent magnet. Okay, this is permanent magnet. As it is permanent magnet moving coil instrument, I am using permanent magnet over here. This is north pole, whereas this is south pole. Okay, this is permanent magnet. Okay. Inside of this permanent magnet, we are going to have soft iron core. Soft iron core is placed in between two poles. Okay, we are going to have soft iron core. Upon this iron core, we are going to have aluminium former. Aluminium former. We're going to have aluminum former like this. Okay, so here we have core. Upon this, we are going to have aluminum former. right? So other is do one thing. Let me place core. Okay, upon this core you are going to have aluminum former. Okay, this is what, this is soft iron core, whereas this is aluminum former, rectangular aluminum former. Okay, so here we place winding upon this aluminum former. Okay, so you are going to have aluminum former like this. You are going to have aluminum former like this. Upon this aluminum former, winding is placed. Winding goes like this. Winding is placed like this. Okay, so you don't have copper winding. We place copper coil. Copper coil is placed upon this aluminum former like this. Okay, so let me place aluminum former upon this. Let me place coil. Coil is placed upon this aluminum former, right? Okay, so you're going to have spindle. This aluminum former is connected to one spindle. Okay, this is spindle. Okay, now let me place, let me use this. Winding. Okay, this is the coil which is placed upon this. Okay, so this coil is coming out of it like this. Here we are going to have springs in order to provide spring control, that is controlling torque. In order to provide controlling torque, we use springs. Okay, so one end of spring is connected to one end of coil. Okay, one end of this spring is connected to this other end of coil. Okay, now here in PMMC instrument, springs are using as current carrying conductors. So current will be flowing into the spring first, then after coil, likewise current will be flowing and coming out of this spring like this. Okay, now here springs are using as current carrying conductors. Okay, anyhow this is spindle. Okay, this is spindle. Okay, so you're going to have anyhow let me draw pointer also. Okay, so pointer is connected to this spindle. Okay, this is pointer which is connected to this spindle. Okay, so we are going to have scale like this. Okay. We know, right, in order to ensure proper operation of an indicating instrument, we require three tasks: deflecting torque, controlling torque, and damping torque. Okay, first we will go for deflecting torque. Okay, this deflecting torque is produced based on motoring principle. Okay, so what is the motoring principle? I will do one thing. You are going to have front view like this, right? Okay, this is north pole, whereas this is south pole. Okay, so coil is placed in between these two poles, right? Okay, so what is motoring principle now? Anyhow, coil is let single coil is placed between these two poles. Okay, anyhow, multiple coils are placed between these two poles in this permanent magnet moving coil instrument. Okay, now let us consider only single coil for understanding the operation of this BMX instrument in order to produce deflecting torque. Okay, let us use single coil. Okay, so let me pass current to this coil. Let I is the current flowing to this coil coming out of this connector like this. Okay, let this is connector A, let this is connector B. Okay, anyhow, flux flows from north pole to south pole like this. Okay, so this is the direction of main field flux. This is the direction of main field flux. Now current is flowing into this conductor means let it is denoted by, let me denote the direction of current like this. It is denoted by cross mark. It is denoted by cross mark. Okay, current is flowing out of this conductor means it is denoted by dot. Okay, now let me apply Thumb's rule. If thumb, according to Thumb's rule, if thumb indicates the direction of current, then fingers will indicate the orientation of flux. Okay, as it is moving, as current is moving into this conductor means that is denoted by cross mark, and the direction of flux will be like this, in clockwise direction. Okay, the direction of flux will be in clockwise direction like this. In clockwise direction. Again, coming to this connector, current is flowing out of this connector means what is the direction of flux? The direction of flux will be in anti-clockwise direction. If you use Thumb's rule, you will get to know the direction of flux. Okay, and now above this connector, this is the direction of main field flux, this is the direction of flux produced by this connector. Both are aiding each other. Both fluxes are aiding each other. Whereas coming to this connector, coming to below this connector, okay, below this connector, this is the flux produced by the conductor, whereas this is the main field flux, direction of main field flux. Both are opposing each other. Both are opposing each other. Okay, this is the direction of flux produced by the conductor. This is the direction of main field flux. Okay, both are opposing each other. Both are opposing each other means they will cancel out each other. Below this connector, they will cancel out each other. Above this connector, this is the direction of flux. This is the direction of flux produced by the permanent magnet. this is the direction of flux produced by the conductor. Okay, both are opposing each other. Okay, so they will cancel out each other. Okay, below this conductor, this is the direction of flux. This is the direction of main field flux. This is the direction of flux produced by the conductor below this conductor. Both are aiding each other. Okay, so above this conductor, both fluxes are aiding each other. Okay, again below this conductor, both fluxes are aiding each other. Means this conductor experiences force in downward direction. This conductor experiences force in upward direction. That is, you are going to have the resultant flux will be like this. Okay. So strictly speaking, very few lines, okay, very few lines will be present below this conductor. Very few lines of magnetic flux will be present above this conductor. Okay, let me neglect that magnetic field. Okay, so let me neglect this magnetic field which is present above this conductor, which is present below this conductor. Okay, so this much amount of flux moves the conductor towards down, this much amount of flux moves the conductor towards up. Okay, so that this coil will be rotating. That is nothing but torque will be produced. Okay, you know, right, what is the motoring principle? Whenever current conductor is placed in the magnetic field, it experiences force. Okay, that is the working principle of motor, right? Okay, here many turns are present. Many turns you are going to have. This coil is having many turns. Okay, like this, based on motoring principle, TD will be produced. TD will be produced. Okay, so now because of the interaction between two fluxes, that is main magnetic field and flux produced by this coil. Okay, due to the interaction between flux produced by the coil and main magnetic field, torque will be produced. Okay, that is nothing but motoring principle, right? Okay, so that is nothing but deflection torque. Okay, when torque is produced, this aluminum former will be moving. When aluminum former is moving, this spindle is also moves. This spindle also moves because this spindle is connected to this aluminum former. Anyhow, this is not movable. This soft iron core is not movable. This is movable. Okay, this aluminum former is movable, and this is which is attached to the spindle. Spindle also moves. When spindle moves, pointer will be moving as it is attached to the spindle. Okay. You are going to have movable element. This is movable element which is supported on jeweled bearings. This movable element is supported on jeweled bearings. Okay. Springs. You are going to have pointer like this, which is moving over the scale. Okay, so based on motoring principle, TD is provided. Okay, with the deflection of the pointer, the spring is twisted in opposite direction. The spring is twisted in opposite direction, so that controlling torque can be provided by spring control method. Okay, after providing controlling torque, you are going to have the deflection like this. This is the deflection. Okay, let me use this. This is the deflection of this pointer. Okay, theta is the deflection of the pointer. Okay, after providing both torques, TD and TC. Theta is the deflection of the point. Now let us go for the expression for deflecting torque. Let B is flux density, L is length of the coil, B is breadth of the coil, N is number of turns of the coil. Okay, here you are going to have coil like this. Otherwise, simply you can draw like this. Okay. Coil which is placed upon this. Right. Okay. So this is the length of the coil. Okay. This is the breadth of the coil. Okay, here we use aluminum pointer. This is balance weight. Let me connect balance weight to this. In order to counteract its weight, we use balance weight. This is balance weight. Balance weight. Okay. Now we know force on any one conductor. You know Lorentz force, that is force on any one conductor, that is given as F is equal to BIL. Okay. So now total force experienced by the coil is equal to BILN. If we have n number of conductors, then force will be BILN. Okay, here let me have this. This is n number of turns. Okay, now what will be the torque? Torque produced by the coil, which is nothing but force into perpendicular distance. Okay, here total force is BALN. Here perpendicular distance will be B, that is breadth of the coil, which is nothing but BIN into L into B. Length into breadth is nothing but area of the coil. So we can have BINA. Okay, TD is given as BINA. Deflecting torque TD is equal to BINA. Okay, so deflecting torque TD is equal to BINA. TD which is equal to, anyhow flux density is constant as we use permanent magnet. Okay, flux density is constant, number of turns is also constant, area of the coil is also constant. So let me have, this can be written like this, G into I. So TD is equal to G into I, where G is galvanometer constant, okay. Coming to controlling torque, you know, according to Hooke's rule, TC is directly proportional to theta. This can be written as TC is equal to Kc into theta, where Kc is spring constant. Okay. So at equilibrium means at steady state, when pointer comes to rest, when both torques are, this is acting torque, this is opposing torque, when both torques are equal, then pointer comes to rest, right? So at equilibrium means under steady state, okay, pointer comes to rest when TD is equal to TC. Okay, so let me write TC is equal to TD. Okay, TC is what? Kc theta, whereas TD is what? BINA. Okay, so theta is equal to BINA by Kc, which is nothing but B is constant, N is constant, A is area of the coil is also constant, Kc is also constant. So let it is S into I, S times I, where S is displacement constant, where S is displacement constant. Okay, from this expression we can say that theta is directly proportional to I. Okay, from this expression we can say TD is directly proportional to current. Okay, at steady state theta is directly proportional to current. Okay, so from this relationship we can say that PMMC provides linear scale. Okay, this gives linear scale as it is giving linear relationship. Okay, there is a linear relationship between deflection and current. You are going to have linear scale. Okay, linear scale means even space divisions, the scale which is having even space divisions. Okay, and now coming to this, theta is equal to S into I, right? So S can be written as, this S can be written as theta by I. This is nothing but sensitivity. Okay, means it is the ratio of deflection to current. Okay, you know, sensitivity is the ratio of change in deflection to the change in current, right? Okay, so S is equal to theta by S. Okay, that's why it is denoted by S. Okay, that's why this constant is denoted by S. Okay, this is also called as displacement constant. So here if the instrument is operating with lower current and if it is giving more deflection by utilizing lower current, then that instrument is having more sensitivity. Okay, that instrument will be more sensitive. Okay, if instrument utilizes by utilizing more if the instrument is utilizing low current and giving more deflection, means that instrument is having more sensitivity. Okay. Finally, you are going to have theta is direct proportional to I. Okay, means gives linear scale. Okay, we have TD is directly proportional to I and TC is directly proportional to theta. Okay, finally you are going to have theta is directly proportional to I. Okay. Now let me ask you a question. Already I told you that this instrument is only for the measurement of DC quantities like DC voltage or DC current. Why it is not suitable for the measurement of AC quantities? We'll do one thing. Let me apply AC voltage to the instrument. What will happen? Let us see. Okay. Now first we'll go for low frequency AC voltage. AC quantity. Let me apply low frequency AC quantity. Okay. So let me take low frequency means you take one cycle per second. Otherwise you can also take otherwise you will do one thing. You will take 2 cycles per second. 2 cycles per second. You will also go for high frequency. What will happen if I give low frequency AC, and what will happen if I give high frequency? So now let's go for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, now we'll be having 5 cycles per second. Okay. Now coming to this, if this supply is given to this instrument, what will happen? Okay. Let this is null reflection 0, let this is minus 5 amps, let this is plus 5 amps. Okay, initially it is at null reflection, pointer is at null reflection. Okay, now for positive cycle, torque will be positive. If the current is positive, means torque will be positive. Okay, then this moves from null reflection like this and moving towards this direction. Okay, in the next half cycle, negative voltage means it moves in, again comes back to this 0. See, first 0 to 5 amps, again it comes back to 5 to 0, again it goes to 0 to minus 5 amps. Let me apply 5 amps. Okay, here pointer is moving from 0 to 5, again going back to 0, again moving in reverse direction because of negative voltage. Because of this negative voltage, if the current is negative, means TD will be negative. Okay, so the pointer is oscillating between minus 5 to 5 amps. So the pointer will be oscillating. If I apply low frequency AC, the pointer will be oscillating between these two readings, positive reading and negative reading. Okay. Coming to high frequency AC, during this cycle, in this positive half cycle, it has to move in positive direction. TD will be positive. During next half cycle, TD will be negative. Okay. I'll do one thing. I'll draw the scale. Is minus 5 amps is plus 5 amps. Okay, null deflection 0, right? Okay, it has to move in forward direction, it has to move in backward direction. Okay, for first half cycle it has to, this pointer has to move in forward direction. In the next half cycle it has to move in reverse direction. Okay, but see, when it is trying to move in reverse direction, again you are going to get next cycle, immediately you are going to get next cycle. Okay, that is, this frequency is not allowing this pointer to move in one particular direction slowly. Okay, see, in this in the first half cycle, the pointer, you are going to get positive deflection, you are going to get negative deflection, again you are going to get positive deflection. Okay, and now here you are going to, so in this cycle you are going to have positive deflection, right? Okay, torque will be positive. Okay, in the next half cycle it has to move in backward direction. When it is trying to move in, when the pointer is trying to move in backward direction, it will get next cycle, next positive cycle. Okay, when the pointer is trying to move in backward direction, again you are going to get next positive cycle. Likewise, so due to inertia of this pointer, this will move neither in positive direction, this will move nor in negative direction. This will be oscillating at null deflection. Pointer will be oscillating at null deflection. Due to inertia, this frequency will not allow this pointer in positive direction as well as negative direction. Okay, this pointer is oscillating at null deflection. This pointer is oscillating here only. This pointer is oscillating here and gives zero deflection. Okay. So if high frequency AC voltage is applied to the instrument, then pointer doesn't move. Pointer will be at null deflection only. It doesn't move. If I apply low frequency AC voltage, it will be oscillating between positive and negative readings. Okay. Now you are going to have pole faces like this. You are going to have curved pole faces. Okay, you are using this code, right? Okay, now why we are using this curved pole faces instead of using flat poles? Okay, so why we use this soft parent cylindrical code? Okay, now let us look into this problem, look into this question. Now here, see, if you don't use any core, okay, then this air offers more reluctance. Air offers more reluctance. Okay, if I use iron core, as this core is having high permeability and it offers low reluctance, the flux lines will be like this. North pole, south pole. Flux lines will be like this. Again, you are going to have flux lines will be like this. Okay. So, flux per area is more. So, flux density is more. Flux density is more. In order to get more flux density, we use this soft iron core between these two poles, as it is offering more, as it is offering low reluctance and it is also having high permeability. So you are going to have flux lines like this. Okay, coming to this curved pole faces. you're going to have curved poles like this. Okay, if I use flat poles, flux will be like this. Okay, here flux is radial, you're going to have radial flux lines like this. Okay, north pole, south pole. Okay, now if the coil is placed in between these two poles, it experiences force. Okay, I'll do one thing. It experiences force like this. Okay, let this coil experience force. I mean, at the end of this coil, this experiences force in this direction, this experiences force in this direction. Okay, now the distance between these two will be, let this is some small a. Let a is the, otherwise b is the distance between these two. The distance between these two forces will be, let me take x. Okay, x will not be equal to b. If you use flat poles like this, x will not be equal to b. Okay, the diameter of this coil will not be equal to the distance between two forces. Okay, so you are going to get different deflecting torques. Okay, coming to this, if I use curved poles, okay, anyhow you are going to have flux lines like this. Right? Okay, let me place coil. Okay, this experience force in this direction, this experience force in this direction. The difference between two forces is x, and the distance from here to here is b. In this case, x will be equal to b. Okay, if x is equal to b means you are going to have same expression, because these flux lines are along with this coil, always along with this coil. Okay, here if you change the rotation of this coil, x will not be equal to b. Here if you change the rotation of this coil also, x will be equal to b. Okay, so with respect to the deflection of the pointer, with respect to the change of this position of this coil, TD doesn't change. Here TD will be changing. Okay, here expression doesn't change. Okay, that's why we use curved poles, and in order to get higher flux density we use soft iron core. Okay, now we have discussed about deflecting torque as well as control torque. Coming to damping torque. Okay, this aluminum former provides damping torque, because here see, when current is flowing into the coil, copper coil, okay, when the pointer is moving, spindle is moving, when the spindle is moving, this aluminum former is moving. This aluminum former is moving inside of this magnetic field. When the aluminum former is moving, when the pointer is trying to oscillate, when the pointer is, I'm coming again, sorry. Okay, now here, when the pointer is oscillating at steady state, the spindle also oscillates. As the pointer is attached to this spindle, okay, when the pointer is oscillating, this spindle will be oscillating. When the spindle is oscillating, this aluminum former will be oscillating. When this aluminum former is oscillating in between these two poles, eddy currents will be induced. Eddy currents will be induced in this aluminum former. Because of these eddy currents, flux will be produced. Flux will be produced. Okay. So, due to the interaction of flux produced by these eddy currents and main magnetic field, damping torque will be produced. Okay, that is, flux will be produced because of eddy currents. Okay, due to eddy currents, flux will be produced in the aluminum former. Again, you have main magnetic field. Okay, this main magnetic field opposes the field produced by this aluminum former, a field produced by this eddy currents. Okay, when this magnetic field opposes the magnetic field produced by these eddy currents, indirectly which opposes the motion of this aluminum former. When this is opposing the motion of this aluminum former means which opposes the motion of the spindle. When this is opposing the motion of the spindle means which opposes the motion of the pointer. So, here we provide eddy current damping. We are providing eddy current damping. Okay. So, anyhow, eddy current damping is more effective. So, this instrument is accurate instrument. Now, coming to the advantage and disadvantage of the PMMC instrument. Okay, coming to advantage. Okay, PMMC gives linear scale. It is having linear scale as theta is there equal to I. Next, because of using eddy current damping, in this instrument, because of using eddy current damping, this instrument is accurate instrument. This is an accurate instrument. This is an accurate instrument. PMC instrument is an accurate instrument. Okay, this is having high accuracy. This is high accurate. PMC instrument is high accurate and high sensitive. High sensitive. Okay. It gives high efficiency also. Efficiency, as it consumes very little power for its operation. Okay, coming to the disadvantage. This instrument cannot be used for the measurement of AC quantities. This instrument cannot be used for the measurement of AC quantities like voltage, AC voltage or AC current. And the second one is this instrument is expensive. This instrument is more expensive. Thank you.